Hey, how's everyone doing?
What's up, guys?
Hey, welcome to the call, guys.
Hello.
No, hey. Hey, guys. Oh, and we have Alex on here, too. Is Alex from your team as well?
Yes, I am here.
Sorry, say that again.
Can I ask my question?
Yes, go for it. Ask your question, Alex.
So my question is, security is the most important thing to consider when starting up a project for partnership. How secure is Zero project for user and investor? Because there have been a lot of
What?
ethical issue. Can we get information about your security system?
I'm sorry? I can't really understand what you're saying, Alex.
Can we get information about your security system?
What about our security system?
Are you inquiring about like audits? What type of audits they've gone through, and where maybe you can see the contracts?
I have another question. Can I say my
Alex,
question
we
again?
haven't really spoken yet. We can wait for the Q&A after the actual call.
Yeah, feel free to ask questions. We'll have a period at the end of the call, 10, 15 minutes, where community can come up and ask open-ended questions. So yeah, just, we'll go ahead and get started here. And if you're around the end, we'll bring it back up. All right, Alex? Thanks so much.
Cesar.
I have another question.
All right, well, we'll have questions afterwards.
Cesar is on our team, though, if you want to add him up.
Yeah, if you can add Cesar as well.
Yeah, sure. Let's let me look for him.
So I think what Alex was asking is what security measures have been put in place to protect investors on Silo, and where him as a user can see that. Is that correct, Alex? And by that, I think you're just referencing like formal audits maybe, and like where that's posted.
Yeah. I mean, well, for us personally, I mean, we have obviously we have audit reports. We have 2 quant stamp ABDK, and we do formal verification with solvers and rule writing with what do you call them? Blanking on the name. Certora, sorry. And yeah, and then we have UI security features and immunify bounties on both the UI and the back end. So yeah, hope that answers you, Alex. But yeah, hey guys, welcome. It's been a not too long minute, since we've seen you last week. Today we're bringing on the Premia guys. The Premia guys are awesome. We met, I believe it was East Denver, or oh man, I don't remember, but
it was Denver,
one of the events.
Yeah,
Denver. No, yeah, and we had a blast. We had a really an awesome time talking with them, and really just excited to bring them on. They are, of course, one of our partners for the co-incentives program. So their Silo has rewards currently if you deposit Premia or USDC in the Premia market. On Silo, there are some decent rewards on that side. So we're very excited to kind of bring more utility to the token and help Premia grow and grow alongside them. So without further ado, I mean, Cozy, DK, if you want to introduce yourselves, send it.
Cool. Yep. Thanks. I'm Cozy. I handle partnerships at Premia. Some of you may know me from just Twitter, but yeah, I've been with Premia since RV1.
I'm DK. I I've also been around Premia since we put out the minimum viable product MVP back in February 2021 ish. I run operations and legal for the most part. Do some project management. Happy to be here.
Yeah, thanks so
Yeah.
much, guys. Yeah, welcome to the community call, and thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate you guys spending this time and joining us today. It's a great chance for you guys to get more familiar with our community, as well as let our community get to know more about you guys. So I was wondering if you guys could kick us off with just giving us a brief rundown about your protocol and how it works.
Sure, yeah. So Premia is a centralized options protocol. We're multi-chain, but our home base is Arbitrum. Currently works in a pool-to-peer architecture, and we do something unique with our AMM model where there's kind of a supply and demand pricing mechanic to the pools, which helps kind of equalize or find market pricing for these assets, for these markets, by incentivizing buyers on one side when there's ample liquidity, and incentivizing underwriters or LPs on the other side of the book when there's liquidity needed. At the moment, we support, outside of Bitcoin and Ethereum, a multitude of other altcoins. I guess you could refer to them as, such as like Alchemix's Al Assets, Link, Yearn, Arbitrum, Optimism, Phantom, and a few others. Steth. Currently, we're gearing up to release our V3, and our V3 will kind of take our V2 model and expand upon that quite a bit. We'll be introducing features like range order or concentrated liquidity, so that underwriters can choose the specific range that they'd like to underwrite for. To kind of break that down a bit, if an underwriter would like to only sell options between the price of, let's see now, we'll say like 1890 and 1950, and they'd like to do that between this Friday and 2 Fridays from now, they can now do that. Where in V2, if you deposit into the pools, you're just underwriting any options that people would like to purchase. So there'll be that aspect of it. We'll have a vault layer. There'll be margin that we're introducing, an RFQ network, a whole bunch of things that are really going to improve upon the initial kind of V2 design that we had. And we just released Premium Academy, so we could talk about that a bit as well.
Yeah, and that's very cool, because what you're saying really, and by the way, our community is kind of very in touch with the kind of options trading and options eco. We're very close with Dopex as well, so we have a lot of overlap there. But it's very interesting what you're saying, because you're basically saying that you've created concentrated liquidity for options pricing or minting, right?
Yeah. I mean, and not only that, it's permissionless pooling as long as there's an oracle. So that doesn't have to be necessarily a Chainlink oracle. It can be a Uniswap oracle, and we can chain 2 Uniswaps, a Chainlink and a Uniswap, 2 Uniswap or 2 Chainlinks. So like if there's only a Premia ETH market on, let's say, Uniswap V3, and we want to create options that are Premia USDC, we can take Premia ETH and then chain an ETH USDC oracle together, and then we can create Premia USDC markets. So I think that's probably going to be the coolest part of V3, is not only that concentrated liquidity aspects where you can kind of focus within a certain premium range that you want that you're willing to ride at, but then also that the fact that if you have a semi-mature market on Uniswap V3, you can launch your own options market, right? So we're pretty excited about launching that and seeing what people can build on top of that.
I'll just add something aside from the options talk. There's like this, a preconceived notion that there's like drama or something, or like that us and Dopex don't get along. And I should just be clear that was more of like I think community thing. Like I've met tons of people from the DopeX ecosystem, like builders and founders of different products, and like we all have gotten along great. And I've really enjoyed like any of the time I've spent with everyone from the different teams. So there's no bad blood team to team. You know, whatever the community is doing is, you know, their own thing. We can't control them.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, there's definitely no bad blood. You know, part of the DopeX team is actually in our team as well. So uh, we would very much know if there's some bad blood there.
Yeah. Yeah, like
Um,
I've met a ton of people like from, you know, like from Out Jones and Dopex itself and Plutus, and like everyone's been super cool and really smart. It's been all nothing but good conversation when I've been out and had meals with them.
Amazing, amazing. Yeah, I guess we can kind of talk about more about this Oracle thing because we're very well versed with Oracles. I think this setup is kind of similar in a way to a silo because we have, you know, 3 assets that we pair with, and essentially we can use different price suites for all of them. You guys are moving into, you said so long as there's an Oracle, does that mean that there has to be a whitelist for an Oracle to be added, or can anyone just hook up any Oracle to it?
So at the actual like smart contract level, it's permissionless. There is no whitelist. In terms of pool deployment on our front end, you'll technically be able to deploy on, you essentially provide we have an adapter that will kind of bring things together. But in terms of what we provide on our front end, we're going to kind of curate that list, right? So we don't want, if someone launches a pool with an Oracle that we're not really familiar with, or the contract's not verified, then we're probably not going to provide that to our users as like a highlighted pool to provide liquidity to. So that curated list will exist on our front end. However, at the actual contract level, there is no whitelist.
Awesome. So you guys have basically done away with DAO permissions. There's no gatekeepers, kind of Uniswap like.
We're moving that way for at least the initial like gated launch. Some of the contracts are still upgradable. We've removed some of the upgradability with the factory, the pools itself, while we're going through this post-launch phase to make sure that everything's stable. Once we've decided everything's stable, we'll remove that upgradability, and at that point, it will be fully permissionless.
Wow, that's great to hear, guys. Yeah, I mean that's definitely our goals and aspirations as well. So excited to hear that. Also, I would very much encourage you guys to get in contact with Dia, just because they can help basically set up any Oracle for very cheap on Arbitrum. We are using them for the Jones market actually, and we're planning to use them for quite a few other ones that are basically missing from the Uniswap Chainlink list.
Yeah. I mean, we just because of the cardinality, but also like the name that goes around along with the brand, we launched with adapters that provide for Uniswap and Chainlink. But yeah, there's quite a few groups that we've been kind of speaking with. There's like obviously Pith, there's Redstone, there's so many Oracle providers nowadays that it's a matter of time before we build adapters for all of them.
Yeah, and
They're doing index tokens, like have their own oracles that they're making, specific to their product. And we just don't want to limit it to where, someone can't plug in and create a market because they're using some, bespoke oracle.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm really starting to love the Oracle system. It's really starting to pick up. I mean, the Redstone guys as well. We speak to them, and they're definitely chasing after everything right now. There hasn't really been any players trying to break into the market in a while, so it's really nice to see we're starting to see some development in that area.
Completely agree. Yeah, it's also interesting the way that our kind of products mesh well is that so depending on the type of strategy that you're trying to do, in between V2 and V3, it's not going to change in the fact that if you're going to be underwriting calls or you're going to be buying call options, then you're paying for premium in the actual like underlying asset. So an ETH call will be you'll pay for premium in ETH. or in the opposite case, an ETH put, then you're going to pay for the premium in USDC. But if you're kind of selling selling puts, then you could make the argument that maybe you're bullish on Ethereum, right? So you're willing to sell puts because you think the price is going to go up. However, you need to provide collateral in USDC, right? So you don't really have that exposure to properly account for that position. If it's a directional bet in which you're bullish on an asset and you're trying to write puts, so you need to actually lend. So you need to deposit your ETH collateral, which you're thinking is going to go up, and then you need to borrow from a lending market, right? So some cool stuff some cool stuff's gonna happen with V3. I think between us and lending markets. Not only that, but because the Premia market that you guys provide for us, we'll have Premia options right at the get-go. That's going to be a launch token that we kind of promote. So interested to see what people do on the strategy side.
Very cool, very cool. You're saying our market can be used to essentially borrow out the Premia to deposit into the options calls or puts, right?
Yeah. So I'll give you an example. Not financial advice, obviously, but I'll give you an example. If you're bullish on the Premia token, and you want to get some extra yield and sell puts on Premia because you think you're bullish, you think it's going to go up, so you're going to sell puts because that's some premiums that you can collect, some income that you can collect, and you think the price is going to go up. So hopefully all those puts kind of expire worthless. You can deposit Premia, you can borrow USDC, and then you can use that USDC to underwrite those puts. Right? It's kind of the base case of if you have a directional bet, you're going to need to use a lending market. Eventually, we're going to be introducing margin, and so that you can do something like this natively within your portfolio, natively within at the positional level at Premia. However, I mean, it's going to be probably closer to the end of summer,
and eventually portfolio level.
Yeah, hopefully.
Say it again.
But,
I didn't hear that.
I said eventually at the portfolio level, like
Yeah.
it'll be margin will be introduced on Premia as isolated margin, where it will be by position, and Tolga and a few of the guys in the audience right now are working on their V2 of that, which will be portfolio margin.
Wow. Well, yeah, no, that sounds great, guys. I like that. I like the isolation.
Siloed margin.
There you go. Yeah, no, and that's it's an interesting point also because it seems to be kind of a new trend that people are going into, especially with GMX kind of taking this more segregated approach where they're cutting the tokens into essentially segregating them by token, the risk by token, which is very much what we do. So I'm seeing more of that narrative start to grow, and I think that you guys will see positive effects out of it. We've had immense success on Arbitrum purely through just the amazing users that exist on the network. So these users do care about risk. They will be active, and they do like to arbitrage things like rates and stuff like that. So that's one of the big things that we've noticed about Arbitrum users in particular. But yeah, I'm excited for your V3. Will you guys have the equivalent of something like an LP token or something like that perhaps Silo could list at some point?
Yeah, so we're actually looking at a few different ways. So we abstract out the vol surface. So in our V2 model, we bring in the IVOL surface, and then we use that in our pricing algorithm, and we then match all the traders that are coming in versus all the LPs. Now in V3, we abstract that out to a vault layer. The base layer doesn't bring that IVOL surface in, so we're not doing pricing for you. The market kind of decides the pricing, and then you also can decide which range and bounds you're willing to underwrite risk for. And then we have essentially it's a passive strategy in which that we bring in the IVOL surface, you deposit your liquidity, and then we use that to underwrite options for traders that come in, and we will price them for you, right? So if the economics make sense, we will then sell those, we will then take your collateral, sell the calls against that, and then the vault as itself, similar to a Urine vault, it's using the same, I think, what is it, 4262 or whatever, vault standard. and you receive vault tokens for that, in which that you can redeem for the collateral the collateral that's within held in that vault. And then with that, I think that we're going to start seeing some composability within those vaults, right? So those vault tokens adhere to the standard. They have a price on them, and then you can use those as collateral in other projects. Now, obviously, there are going to be different strategies, and we're going to have to do it on a case-by-case basis at the vault level. Does this make sense to use as collateral within a lending product or not? And there will be some that are maybe more aggressive, and then some that are the opposite, right? So
yeah, and we'll discuss this more after the call, but yeah, we'd love to talk about how you guys see things like liquidations happening, or if there will be redeemability and things like that we can route through. But it sounds like there will be, just because you guys are basically building a little options AMM to an extent.
Yeah, liquidations will happen. So we'll have actually the margin system will be built off of the vaults. So that will have liquidations if you're going to be borrowing versus those versus that lending aspect. However, at the strategy level, most of the strategies, at least the ones we're going live with, won't have liquidations, because it's not an up only strategy, right? Because it is underwriting risk. So there's obviously we've priced it and we've modeled it out so that the depositors over time should be profitable, knock on wood. However, there is no liquidations in that mechanism, and we'll only be underwriting like super mature products like wrap Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So well, yeah, we can talk about it more in detail, but there's going to be a lot of different options, no pun intended, with what we've got in store for V3.
Nice. Very cool. I think Lily wanted to speak in here. Let's see.
Thanks for sharing all of this information. I mean, it's just a lot of really cool developments and things that you guys are working on right now. So really excited to hear about all that. I did want to kind of bring us back a little bit to the big purpose of this call, which is our season 2 incentives, and wanted to give Yashu a moment or Tenzin a moment to talk a little bit about how our last season 1 program went for our protocol in general, and how our season 2 incentives with you guys being a partner on what's changed there, and how that affects you guys and how our communities can get involved in that.
Yeah, I mean, just to juxtapose, I guess, the season 1 incentives and season 2. In season 1, basically, our first round of incentives, and this is really still a test round for our VE model that comes out later. But for V1, essentially, we just threw flat out incentives on top of some large markets. And we noticed that there wasn't really as much traction there. But these programs like these, where we can co-incentivize with projects, are much more high value, because we get so much more visibility into your community, and people coming in from there. Really, the eyeballs are what's missing from some of the lending markets. So it's very exciting to kind of be kicking off the program on a strong note.
Yeah, and what are we looking at right now for monthly incentives with Premia? I know, so users can get incentives by depositing USDC and Premia, and there's $1,500 each month that they can earn and share.
Yes, I believe it's around $1,000 a month that we're doing for Premia. Essentially, you can deposit either Premia or USDC in the Premia market. And that's basically to enable Premia token holders to borrow USDC against their deposits, or for USDC depositors to borrow Premia, and either farm, leverage, short, whatever they might need to do. But yeah, the incentives are $1K a month right now.
Awesome. Yeah. So yeah, get involved ASAP guys and gals, like there's, monthly incentives you could be earning just by depositing funds each month. It's a great time to just, get exposure and get involved if you're not familiar with either of our protocols. A little perk. Yeah, we also did put out a thread too on Twitter, kind of highlighted some Silo X Premia yield strategies. So if you're unsure exactly, what to do, check that out. And also another thing I heard that's pretty exciting is Premia just launched its Premia Academy to teach people more about how to do options trading in DeFi. So maybe you guys can talk about that a little bit. And on top of that, yeah, you guys can go a little bit more in depth about your products, team ethos, any spotlights or shout outs you want to give to your community, as well as any other, alpha or upcoming developments you guys want to talk about.
I think it's pretty cool right now. The CEO of DopeX and CEO of Premia are next to each other in the spaces.
Let's go.
So yeah, Academy just launched today. Kind of the idea behind that is, like demystifying a lot of the, I don't know, you could say like the
Complexity.
around options and bringing some intro courses to kind of walk people through what options are, how they work. There will be some strategy courses in there as well. There's a glossary. One of the things that I've always felt is that people get intimidated by the language that's used in options. When they trade perps, it's pretty easy to understand if you're going 10x, 100x long, or 10x short. And it's pretty easy to do that on a perps platform. But when you start talking to people that trade options, you start reading content about options, and you start seeing things like implied volatility and gamma and theta and stuff like that. I find that a lot of people get intimidated by that because it's subject matter that they're not familiar with. So with this, it kind of breaks it down in an easy, digestible manner, and helps people kind of cross that first step into learning about options. The other thing is we'll be leveraging that for other features on the platform, like the margin that DK was talking about a bit earlier. Products like that we don't necessarily think that everyone should just walk into and start using. So for things like that, there will be a course that they'll have to take, and if you've gone through the courses now, you'll see that it talks about an NFT being minted. And there will be things like that will take place to gain access to or allow access to different features on the platform.
Yeah, we have we're kind of soft testing some of the progression, right? So we have the 3 courses. There's an intro. There's like one on Greeks. There's some topics that go through like what is volatility, what does moneyness mean. And then once you start, you get minted a badge. That badge will then dynamically update as you pass the exams for those 3 different courses. Each course has 5 different classes within it. A class is mostly just a long article right now. We'll be adding some more video features and some cool UI elements and animations here in the coming days. But like Coin said, we'll be doing some feature gating based on different courses that are completed. The onboarding for a trading competition, which is coming up very soon. We'll take you through all of the new features of V3 before you can mint your testnet tokens and participate in that trading competition. So there's a lot of cool stuff that we're kind of testing out here. We're gonna the trading competition we're pretty excited about, and it coincides with this, and it also coincides with an experience and kind of credit ecosystem, right? So if you're participating in the trading competition, if you're completing academy courses, then you're getting these credits, and you can spend those credits on things like merch, right? So we're trying to gamify to a certain extent learning about options. It's not specific to our platform. However, there will be courses in the future that we do that is specific to the platform. But right now, it's just learn. We want people to learn. We want people to not, be be scared of the complexity that options have in terms of like the different benefits. We think there's a lot of benefits that overlap perps, and a lot of people utilize perps and they avoid options. So we're trying to level that playing field a bit.
Very cool, guys. Yeah, love to see it. I checked it out right before this call briefly, and you guys did a great job. It's just very clean, very simple. So I'm definitely gonna dive in there and see if I can learn a few things. But I encourage everyone else on this that's listening to the call to check it out as well. Great job, guys.
I know there's 2 more courses that are in the works and should be rolling out very shortly. Kind of leading into the V3 release. We've talked about it a bit in the community, but contracts or codes under audit at the moment. So we'll have the competition roll out in the next few weeks, and then as soon as the audits finish up, the mainnet platform should be live shortly after the competition finishes.
Oh, very cool. So you guys are right there. You guys are literally about to launch V3.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Knock on wood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 6-week audit, 4-person 6-week audit. So it's a behemoth of a code base. So barring any major restructuring that we have to do with the code base, then yeah, we should be launching in July, just in time for ETHCC.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you guys. Oh, you guys are gonna be at ETHCC. We'll talk. We have someone coming there.
Nice.
I wish I could go, man. I don't. I'm not getting to go, but I've always wanted to go to ECC. Yeah, no, this is great stuff, guys. Super appreciate it. And I heard the trading competition. Is there? This is a paper trading competition. Awesome. So I can't lose all my money gambling like I do. So by the way, is there going to be any sort of cash prices for that? That might be something of interest.
Yeah, so
some people here.
we got over $150,000 in prizes right now. They range from Diablo game keys to tons of merch. We have cash prizes, and then we have trading platform subscriptions, right? So we got Amber Data. We're working with Nansen. I got a call with Masari later today. Hopefully we can make that happen. We got some traditional just Delta One products, so like perp product, like trading suites that some influencers in the space have kind of put together over the course of the last few years. We got tons of prizes, and you don't have to. It's not just P&L related, right? So obviously the main focus is to test out the platform, kind of work out any kinks on the UI side, any bugs on the UI side. You can get points from submitting bug tickets to socials. We have integration with Discord, so even just coming into our Discord and checking in every day gets you points. Retweeting things gets you points. Utilizing the platform, so depositing liquidity, doing different trades, trading different assets. We're gonna, we're planning to have Arbitrum, Wrap Bitcoin, and ETH for the trading competition, at least for launch. And so, making different kind of diversified strategies. We'll be monitoring the on-chain events for that, and you'll getting points for that. And then we have an entire store where you can spend those points. So it's up to you. If you're one of the first to get a large quantity of points and you want to spend those on a $10,000 USDC cash prize, go for it. But we'll have different allocations across the board. So if you're not the greatest trader, no problem. Just come in, use the platform. You'll definitely get enough points to maybe get a few pieces of merch or a subscription to one of those platforms.
Great guys. Is there anything else you guys wanted to mention or promo? Would love to have you guys talk about it. Anything you guys want to say?
Let's see. Whenever Academy trading competition coming up, covered V3 coming out, DK. What am I missing? I feel like there's something else. We've had so much going on. Maybe not. You know what? The one thing I would just like to promo and shout out is our silo market.
Yes, sir.
You haven't checked that out yet. You totally should. Amazing product. And as the topic of this call was about, there's season 2 incentives that are live.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're already seeing almost around the $250,000 inside that market in TVL. So growing strong. DK, you wanted to say something?
No, I was gonna say, like, think about that strategy I kind of put out there earlier. I think there's some interesting ways that you can utilize that, depending on directional bets that you may, or the biases that you may or may not have. And definitely when we launch V3 markets in July, I can see a lot of different overlap with our premier partner in Premia lending, Silo.
Absolutely.
One
Thank
thing
you.
I will say is just with the launch of the academy today, and with the trading competition, for us it's important that people are using these things, testing them, and giving feedback. Like we're building out features, and we're building out things, strategies, courses designed for the users. So if there are strategies or courses that you think are important that we should have on the shelf to fill into the academy, let us know that. If the trading competition comes along and there are features that you're used to seeing on other traditional options exchanges, or there's an order flow that you're used to going through that doesn't exist, give us that feedback, let us know. Because if enough people are if you're thinking it, then there's got to be others thinking it. So putting it out there into the open only helps us make a better platform.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll probably be partaking, and I'm looking to get more familiar with options. I'm very familiar with them, but I mean, not to an advanced level. So I'll probably partake in your paper trading competition, and I'll probably win. So watch out, guys.
Yeah, I mean that's the big thing, right? Like with the trading competition, there's no cost to the user. It's all testnet tokens. So don't be intimidated. Don't think I'm not a good options trader. There's no chance I'm not going to try this out. As DK said, it's a point based system. You're earning points. It's very gamified. So even if you're not the best options trader, you could still earn points within the trading competition to earn yourself prizes. And we're gonna have a lot of cool things that are just fun to have. Like maybe you just want that Amber Data subscription, or maybe you just want merch, and that's what you trade for. But the more people that are using it, the more feedback we're gonna get, and the more load that we're gonna put on the system. So it only helps out. It helps us test everything out on our end.
Amazing. Yeah, and for any Premia holders also that or maybe they hold the token but they want to try the platform, something that you can very easily do is you can take a loan up against your Premia and use that to play around with the options if you're trying to do something with the live market. That's always a big use case for kind of communities that like you can, there's a lot of native token holders that want to use the platform, but they'd rather hold the native token, right? So this is a way that you can keep your native token and still kind of engage with the protocol's mechanics.
A question for you guys: Can you share any alpha on your upcoming V token?
I mean, on V2 not so much, but I mean, I guess on our VE token, past what's already been said, no, I'll literally get I'll get chewed out later.
All right, well, excited to read about it when you guys start releasing stuff.
But I will share a different release though, actually.
Cool.
So we do have our Curve Convex LP token markets. God, we've been waiting for a minute. We did the audit with Chain Security, and we had to do a lot of testing with formal verifications, writing new rules, and whatnot, just to cover all our bases. But if you take a look at the Silo deployer, you will actually see that the markets are already deployed. They are just not on the UI yet. So we're hoping to really, it's not any smart contract work at all anymore. It's literally just turning it on the UI. But it will probably come on Wednesday. It'll definitely come next week, more than likely Wednesday. And that's launched. And if you ever need alpha
within the week,
yeah, and if you ever need alpha, look at the Silo Finance deployer. But yeah,
putting out alerts right now.
Send it.
Well, yeah, guys, I think it's been a great call. I think we learned a lot about Premia. If there's nothing else you guys would like to say, we can sort of take some questions from the audience.
So when LP collateral, I think we touched on that. My question is securities project.
When
Okay.
LP collateral, yeah. Alex, we answered your question. Oh, can you drop a link for the academy too? I don't know if we can add it to the top of the call, but
Let me
we'll
see if I
definitely
can throw it in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Mike, just saying hello. Mike is a awesome guy. He helps us with the graph, and we work with Data Nexus, and they're amazing at indexing and all those things.
I want to say that we have had some calls with them or work with them in some capacity, maybe.
Yeah, they work with a lot of people. I think they work with the Rocket Pool community as well. But we've had a great experience with them. Nothing but professionals there.
On the LP collateral, if you were talking about Premia and not Silo, and we touched on Silo, but the Premia for V3, if it's technically if like the LP has pricing oracle or has a market, then you can set up a market for it on Premia. So I know that there have been protocols with other types of specific use cases where they have their own custom oracle that they've created because they have an index that they're using, and things like that will be those aren't able to be spun up natively because they won't have a uni market, but they can create their own market with the oracle adapter.
Yeah. Yes, and we've had the same experience also, like for Geom. Right, we list Geom with the Chainlink market. We had to create a custom wrapper for Geom the same way that Wrapstake ETH works, literally just basically price times index.
Yeah, we looked into that. We were looking to do something similar way back when. I think for Geom, so we couldn't do it for Ohm because of the rebasing. So it was like deriving the Geom price from their Ohm index oracle.
Yeah. Man, I could give you guys a look at our implementation as well if you guys are ever interested. Because we created the Oracle wrapper. It's a Chainlink wrapper, and Geom is one of our biggest markets.
Dope, yeah. Froggy or Tolga, I might want to look at that.
And yeah, I think that's all the questions. I think we actually answered them while we were going through here. Cool.
Yeah, that's about it. Cool. Yeah, thanks for having us. On our side, guys, just be on the lookout for trading competition. It should be the week of DK. You say the date. I don't want to misspeak here. Week of the what?
Week of the 12th.
12th. Okay.
That's you know how it is. You know how it is. We're week of the 12th is what we're planning for, though.
Perpetual state of 2 weeks.
Yeah. No, don't worry. Our curve markets release has been coming out in a week for the last month and a half. So.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. We'll have announcements rolling out. Tons of marketing. Keep an eye on Twitter. If you have questions, drop in the Discord. Discord.gg/Premia. And thank you, Silo guys. Appreciate you all.
Yep. Thank you. Always a pleasure, gentlemen. Hopefully, I'll see if maybe I can make it to ECC by some miracle. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys again. So
if you're doing North American stuff, I think I'm gonna hit Masari.
Yeah.
But other than that, I think just ECC. I'm not doing too much traveling this year.
Yeah. I basically I'll hit literally everything in the US. So yeah, I'll take a look at Masari and maybe attend. But yeah.
Cool.
All right, have a good weekend, guys.
Yep.
Thanks so much,
Thank you
guys.
guys.
Thanks
for
everyone.
coming on.
Later.
Goodbye, everybody.